Hive haven't been on Earth in centuries. That wizard came from the moon.
Send them home crying. You're crushing them.
Omnigul, destroy her!
More efforts like that, and we might just win this.
Welcome back to another episode of Agents of the Nine, a Destiny podcast. I'm your host as always, Tim K.A. Trotter. Joining me today is...
Mike List.
And Dame will allegedly be with us at some point during the show. So he says.
Hopefully.
So hey, we have some Destiny thingies to talk about this week. How about that? So we're just gonna go down a list. We actually wrote a list this week. We're trying to be all professional on this thing that we do where we talk about Destiny. So our first thing that we're gonna talk about this week is Iron Banner thoughts, basically, and how much I fucking hate it.
Because you hate it.
I do hate it. And
You
don't get me
really
wrong, I've played Destiny multiple times in the last couple of weeks, even with the black hole that has occurred in Tom Clancy's The Division. I was playing with my old clan again, even got Killbot playing Destiny again for a little bit, before he bowed out. I think the biggest thing that I can say about, or I guess against Iron Banner is, I mean, and let me be clear. I understand that it is a type of PvP endgame content for, like, the diehard sweaty PvP people. And even though I'm into Trials of Osiris, although not as much in the 2016 iteration of it, it's just too much, you know? Like, it's the amount of sweaties or whatever, or maybe it's just the game types or whatever. Like, it's just awful. And even with a good team, and I had my clan, and we were going through, and we had to resort to this dumb strategy of all being tied up in one group and roving clockwise around a map to kill anybody in fucking Iron Banner. And if that's the strat, then it's kind of dumb, because, like, you can't do that in Trials of Osiris, you know? And it's like, I feel like it sort of defeats the purpose if you have to resort to one strategy to be good at Iron Banner, I guess. And then really, the other reason that I hate it is because the Might of Multi-Tool is as prevalent this year as the fucking Thorn was last year. Like, I don't get it. I'm getting mited left and right. It's awful.
You just hear it. Has that sound effect. Has that sound that you can hear it from across the map, and you know, okay, another person with Mida.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, what are your thoughts on Iron Banner and how much you apparently probably enjoy it?
I like the Iron Banner because it it kind of pushes you to be your best, sort of like how Trials is. But that strat, the ring around the rosy, as I call it, everybody runs clockwise, and hopefully you can catch up with the other team before they catch you. And that's everybody's strat.
But it's dumb.
It's really dumb because all you got to do is park, stay still. If you
Le-
stay still, they're going to run right into you, and all you got to do is aim down sights and be ready to go. A capable sniper can just take half the team in one go because they're going to be bunched together because it's like that wolf pack mentality. You know what I mean? Instead of splitting up 2-2-2 or 3-3 or whatever it is, everybody runs in a pack of 6 and just team shoot the first person they see. But I definitely think that the special ammo nerf, I guess is what you could call it, for
Mhm.
3s should be for 6s too. Because there's no reason you should start, run 2 steps, and get sniped.
I agree.
You know, it's just it doesn't give a team the time to get ready to go, to get set up, to learn. Because if you play solo, you got to learn a whole 5 people every time, unless you stay together.
Right.
But it's something that they need to work on. They might not do it. They might do it. Who knows? But yeah, I definitely like control better than clash though. I think zone control would be better because it forces people to be more objective based than
Sure.
Slayer. Because I mean, if it's supposed to be your team goes in and you do the work together, then it should be a truly, you know, objective based game mode as opposed to, oh, I'm just going to kill everybody, and one person could be the top of your leaderboard and carry a whole team of people who are negative or zero point 0.5 or whatever it is. Not saying 0.5 is bad because there's some games I get 0.5. I'll jump into a team of 6 and get wrecked.
Right.
But I mean, there's a lot less people camping in the back of their spawn, hard scoping down all the aisles with a sniper than there was in recent Iron Banners, which is good.
Right.
But I would be interested to see, a more objective, serious objective based game mode. I mean, control's good, but zone control is literally you don't have to kill a single person, but if you have 13 caps, your team may win. But Bungie might not listen. Bungie might listen. Who knows?
Yep. You definitely never know.
But Mida is everywhere.
It's pretty awful.
Everywhere.
Is that all your thoughts on Iron Banner there, Mike?
I mean, the gear's okay. The sniper rifle is a PVE build. That's all it is.
That's my problem though. The gear's just okay. Like, I remember year 1 Destiny, when like Fellwinters was
Yeah, I
like
knew
the
you were gonna
shit,
say Fellwinters.
and it was like, okay, I have a genuine reason to try to do Iron Banner. I couldn't do it, but it was why I went into Iron Banner.
Yeah.
You know,
Like, why isn't my big concern is my big beef with Iron Banner is why isn't the vendor role a PvP role as opposed to a PvE role? Like, the gear isn't specific to PvE, which Iron Banner is.
right?
You might get Minions of the Darkness. What the fuck is that going to do in a match if I'm wearing it? If you give me a 320 helmet, I'm going to wear the 320 helmet regardless. I'm not going to burn it or use it for infusion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear the shit out of it and hopefully use it in my PvP build. But you might get melee kills against Minions of the Darkness. Increase your super, and you're like, okay, that doesn't make a bit of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's my 2 cents.
Sweet. All right, moving right on to our next topic here. So we're going to talk a little bit about the spring. Oops, I bumped the mic with my fist reaching for the keyboard. Edit that out, Tim. Uh,
Talk to yourself.
I do, like 'cause I'm just usually sitting there listening when I edit. Moment to scroll to where that thingy was. I had the quote queued up about the spring quote.
What about the new the spring expansion?
Yeah. Fuck is it? I literally am not seeing it in this week at Budgie thing. Okay, fine. I'll go to the next week. No, that one. Let's see.
Are you talking about the significant light
Yeah,
increase
here it
and all
is.
that?
Here it is. Here it is. Okay. Cut in, Tim. Again, cut that back stuff because you didn't yell cut to back up like a couple minutes because you didn't do your job and created more work for yourself. Good job, Tim. All right. All right, so we're going to be talking a little bit about our spring content speculation and our hopes and dreams about it, followed by probably much more realistic expectations about those dreams. But Bungie said in their weekly update a week or so ago was, and I quote here, we have a second larger update slated for spring. That content release will feature a significant light increase, a bunch of new gear to earn and equip, and new challenges for PvE players seeking some more fun experiences and replayability. Beyond that, the team is focused on delivering a large expansion later this year and a full Destiny sequel in 2017. As work wraps up in the weeks ahead, look for more details about the spring content as well as more information about our bigger picture or our bigger projects in the months that follow. Thanks for your patience and thanks for playing Deej. Okay, so there's a large spring update of some kind coming, and there's a large expansion coming, probably, I would imagine, September. And then next year, at some point, Destiny 2. Or whatever it ends up being. So, what do you think that the spring content will be, Mike?
Probably. What do I hope it is, or what do I think it is? There's two different.
Okay. We're going with what you hope it is, followed by your redacted, disabused, and beaten to a bloody pulp, realistic expectations.
I hope the light jumps to around 340, 350, because a jump of 10 doesn't really do much in the scheme of things when power matters. You know, a 320 to 310 isn't that big of a deal. You don't do any. I don't believe you do any extra damage in PVE when it matters. Hopefully, new strikes, new story missions, new exotics. I mean, maybe an update to PV to the Prison of Elders, because I love Prison of Elders.
You're the only one who does.
Hopefully, challenge mode for the Vault of Glass and Crota's End, but instead of having Atheon and Crota, it could be a Taken version or a Taken boss at the end.
I mean,
considering we killed Atheon and Crota.
I guess just when I think of challenge mode, I think of completely underwhelming raid experience. That's what I think. That's what I think of when I think of challenge mode.
Maybe like Nightfall version raids.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we've all talked about that here at
ad nauseum.
Agents of the Nine here, but I don't know. But I don't know. You could bring up a good point. I'd never it hadn't even entered my thought pattern that maybe a handful of strikes could be coming. Because that. Yeah. I mean, strikes are good. The strikes that came with the Taken King were pretty great.
Definitely some PvP maps will be coming. That's a guarantee almost.
Sure. Well, hell, PvP maps have come whether there's a PvE expansion or not, because they've sprinkled a couple of PvP maps even as late as the tail end of last year with
the Citadel.
That one.
The Cathedral of Dusk.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Which I really liked, by the way. You apparently have a Skype message.
That was me.
You should answer that.
Hey, folks.
Oh, it's Dame.
Oh.
What's up, Dame?
What's going on?
You're a little scratchy there, Dame.
Oh, how about now?
Talk for more than a second.
I have been talking for more than a second.
I could talk for a couple more than a second.
Yeah, so I just jumped in and I don't know what's going on right now, but I'm here.
Okay, so well, we have a list. We're only on point 2 of the list.
Okay.
We covered Iron Banner stuff, and right now we're doing our spring content speculation, hopes and dreams, followed by crushed realistic dreams of what that spring content could be.
Okay.
Mike was just telling me that he hopes for strikes and update to the Prison of Elders and challenge mode for Crota and Atheon with maybe Taken variant and bosses.
Okay.
And then I was just in the process of agreeing with him that I hadn't even thought about, like a handful of strikes being some content to dive into.
Right.
And then you showed up.
And
Like you
I'm
did.
here.
There you go.
Tim, cut this out.
Or not.
Okay.
I could just let it ride.
We're gonna
You're
let
a
it
rebel.
ride, free ball in it.
Yeah. So I think what I want it to be for the spring update is I want the Mars expansion that supposedly has probably been being worked on since this time last year by High Moon Studios. Allegedly what that entailed, I think, according back to the leaked stuff that I can remember, was it was going to be like a whole new like zone accessible through like patrol and stuff when you go to Mars proper, and there would be like 2 or 3 strikes and some new story missions there. And I think potentially we could see like just like a simple, maybe like 1 or 2 missions on the moon Europa. And I say that because if you think about it, in the Taken King, we had a couple missions. Actually, the opening mission of the Taken King was on that
Phobos.
one moon around Mars.
It was Phobos, right?
Yeah, it was on
Yeah.
Phobos. And like we had a couple missions there, and that was cool because it was like a totally new area that we hadn't been yet. So they could easily do something, well, I mean, easily, but I think that's been cooking a lot longer than we think it has. And that could possibly be a pretty nice, above, like somewhere, like maybe like double the size of like a House of Wolves size update. So that's what I'm personally hoping for on the high hopes of things. Mike, what do you think your redacted crushed hopes version of the spring content will be?
330 light, 1 or 2 weapons between the vendors that are good.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully, some more weapons that you can get from the weapon vendor.
Mm-hmm.
Every arms day. Hopefully,
Okay.
Maybe 2 Crucible maps and 3 strikes, if that. A couple story missions, and a couple time gated dailies that give you a chance for an exotic.
Mm.
Because
I really like when they
there's
do that.
7. There's 7
I like when they-
exotics that still aren't released, or so.
Really?
Yeah,
According-
there's like.
According to what? Data mines or what?
I
Well,
think
you got 3. There's 3 that's on the vault. Well, 2 that's on the vault.
Yeah.
And on Bungie, those are 2. Those are the Void and the Solar Thunderlord. I know for a fact that's up there.
And then there's the Thugamizers, or the Titan arms that kind of look like Valastar arcs. Is it Valastar? What the Blastoise version, the Charizard version of the Shield Brothers. And then there's a couple boots, I think, and I think helmets.
All right, hold on for a second. Cut. My mic stand is like failing me because the mic is like slowly lowering to the fucking table right now.
So you're
Slowly
just
falling
talking.
asleep.
You're just talking, moving your head down slowly.
Yeah, I'm literally. It's like it's almost like touching the keyboard.
His mic is falling asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's so much weight, so it's like, why would you do this to me?
Why does it sound like you opened a chest that contained a demon or something just then?
Like the Zelda theme song should pop up.
Yeah.
Da-na-na-na. You
Oh, man.
found 5 rupees.
Right.
Be the most ornate chest ever.
Man, let me
5
tell you how
rupees.
happy I was to find a chest when I was in Ocarina of Time and that damn sand temple. That shit is a bastard. That's probably the worst temple in there. People complain about the water
No
temple. I
water
actually
temple,
got
bro.
through that. No, I got through that smooth. I got through that smoothly. I actually did. It was the damn sand temple. That sand temple threw me for a loop.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cut in. Alrighty. So my crushed hopes and dreams version of what the spring content is, because I don't like it, it'll be a second Prison of Elders type thing, maybe set on Mars or something like that. And let's say 3 story missions of some kind. That's my crushed hopes for the spring content. Dame, since you're arriving a little late to the party, why don't you give us why don't you start by giving us what your grand hopes are for the spring update and what your crushed hopes are for the spring update.
Okay. Well, what I'm hoping for, what I would like to see, what I would love to see is another raid. It's probably my ultimate.
That's a good point. It's been a while since we've had a raid.
Been a while since King's Fall. You know, I would like another raid. Weapon balancing.
What needs to be balanced? Well, no, I take that back. We got a segment for that coming up.
Yeah. So there's still some things a little janky. You know, I think hand cannons can get a little bit looked at. You know, because no one's using them anymore. I would like to use a hand cannon every now and then. What else would I like? Better exotic armor, because the exotic armor that we have now is almost like non-existent. The only one that I truly use, the only 2, that I truly use is Graviton Forfeit for my hunter, and that's if I'm in PvE mode. Because if I'm in PvP, I'll just equip Shade Step, and then I use my Crest Alpha Loopy, depending on what I'm playing.
Hold on a second. Is somebody moving around with their microphone or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Mike?
No. I'm sitting perfectly still.
Are you sitting perfectly still now?
I've been sitting perfectly still. I heard it though. It was a little bit like somebody rubbing paper or something.
Yeah. Sounded like good old microphone meets paper or clothes. Alrighty, go ahead, Dame.
Yeah. So yeah, I used Graviton Forfeit and Twilight Garrison if I'm on my Titan. And I specifically like that for PvP, because even though I don't use my Titan that much in PvP.
Dame, it's totally you. The paper thing has to be coming from you. What do you?
I'm not near any paper.
What is that noise?
No idea.
See,
because I don't hear it.
Well, Mike hears it.
Yeah. It's not
What
terrible,
does it sound like?
It sounds like when you have like when you're talking to somebody on the phone and you're like trying to put your t-shirt on at the same time. It's really distracting.
Can you hear it now while I'm talking?
A little bit, actually.
I don't know.
Are you using your phone or your tablet, Dame?
I'm on my phone. My tablet was on 5%.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot to plug it in before I left out the house.
Okay. Do you have like your headphones in or?
Yeah, I'm using headphones. I'm always on headphones.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to help the situation then. I guess we'll just continue and hope that it doesn't happen. All right, carry on, Dame.
But yeah, I use Twilight Garrison.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if I'm on my Titan for PvP, because like I said, although I don't use my Titan that much for PvP,
right?
With that piece of armor, you can close the gap so quickly. If you master that, I mean, so quickly. And I've got out of situations with my Titan, and my Titan is slow as hell, but with that armor on and the Mida, dude, he's like, he moves like Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, it's insane. That mixed with a shoulder charge, I mean, you can close the gap on any enemy. So for Mida shotgun, Twilight Garrison, it's insane. But other than that, I might use the impossible machines on my warlock every now and then, you know, as if I want to use landfall and then with something else. But other than that, I don't really use any of the exotic armor in year 2. So I probably would like to see better exotic armor.
Okay.
What else? Let's see, exotic armor, weapon balancing, a raid, some PvP maps, probably. Which we're probably going to get anyway. So
yeah,
some good, decent PvP maps. I don't want anything like Cathedral of Dust. I hate that map.
I love Cathedral of Dusk. It's great.
That map is just too big.
It's like Sky Shock.
Yeah, man, it's such a huge map, and it's just like it's
not huge at all.
Dude, it is.
You're crazy if you think it's huge.
If it's not huge, it's so many openings. You can get shot in the back so easily on that map.
Yeah, but that's okay.
No.
That's just that many openings to escape through.
I don't like it. I hate it. What else? I think that's more story, more lore content. So as far as like maybe some story missions, you know, in a PvE. Whatever this content comes in the spring, it desperately needs something pertaining to PvE because it is Dust Bowl dead. I mean, you can see the tumbleweaves flying through the PvE side of this game, dude, and it's just
yeah, for sure.
It's on life support. So I mean, I had an urge yesterday. Well, I only logged on yesterday to get my 320 ghost, and I wanted to play something, so I ran a Nightfall. But and that too, that's another one. God, please fix the Nightfall.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Why is it still shit? I don't know.
Oh my gosh, it's crappy.
Just give them back like last year. Those were fine.
Yeah, I mean, I liked getting up because I was off on Tuesdays, getting up early Tuesdays, running my 3 Nightfalls, looking for that Gjallarhorn. But if I didn't get it, I knew I got at least the buff for the week.
That's right.
That was cool.
Was worth it.
The buff was totally worth it. You know, the buff. Now, if you're gonna take, I can see why they took the buff out because now you can level up your weapons so quickly with motes of life, but armor's still.
So let us level up a bit quicker if we're willing to put that time in. Give us that option for Christ's sake. Yeah,
you know, but if they're gonna take the buff out for that, give us something else. You know, something else worth doing a Nightfall for. You know, if it's not our heads on fire, give us something maybe for like PvE and PvP buffs on certain strikes or something like that, or if I'm in Crucible for a certain game mode or something, I don't know, anything.
Right.
But yeah, I would like to see all of that in this new spring content. But even more importantly, like the PvE, you got at least give me 10 missions. 10 missions.
That's a lot of missions. There wasn't even that many missions in House of Wolves.
Yeah,
okay, so reeling it back, realistically, what do you think the spring event or the spring content is going to be, Dame?
No raid challenge modes, more challenge modes. There's going to have to be something because they say our light level is going to be increased significantly. So I'm assuming that's going to come through challenge modes, probably on raids that we already have, like a Crota's Inn or Vault of Glass. What else? I guess we'll see. We're definitely going to get, like I said, some PvP maps, maybe a couple strikes and some PlayStation exclusive stuff, just because of the deal they got.
Yeah, I forgot about the PlayStation exclusives.
Yeah, so you're probably going to see some stuff there. You may see some more weapons as far as the gunsmith or as far as the factions. They may rotate in and out. I'm not sure. Hopefully, we get the two exotics that we still haven't seen, other than the data mine stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know when those are coming. Probably gonna get what? They're not gonna fix Nightfall. I don't even know if they're gonna touch that.
Yeah.
And we might get weapon balancing.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, I don't really see anything. I mean, it's going, and we might get maybe about 3 or 4 story missions if we find out what this spring content is going to pertain to. Was it going to be Cabal? Was it going to be Vex? More
Whether it's
of
going
the
to be
Fallen,
none of the above.
Yeah, just
right? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
more
Alright.
Hive.
No.
More Hive, right?
I think we're done. Please, just be
Please be done with
done
the
with
Hive.
the Hive.
I would like to see the Vex, more of the Vex, because I think the Vault of
Yeah.
Glass was it was good, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You know?
I love the Vex lore. Vex is
Yeah.
where it's at for me in Destiny lore. Vex and the Traveler are where it's at for me in the Destiny lore universe.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to our next topic. What do we want our next big event to be? We just had Crimson Days centered around Valentine's Day. They've been centering these events around holidays. So we had, of course, our Halloween event, and we had our Crimson Days event. What do we want the next holiday themed event to be, and what do you think they should do in it for us, the players, keeping in mind what they have done for us so far within the Halloween event and the Crimson Days event?
Oh.
I think we need some PVE. Something we need PVE. I mean, it's like
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a PVE because
it
everything
got to
else
be
is
a
PvP.
PVE. PVE with a PvP event. I mean, I don't know what else you could do with Luck of the Irish. And just do a Luck of the Irish version of doubles or something like that. I don't, something that I feel like it has to be a PVE.
You gave me a great idea, Dame. All right, so
Mhm.
here. So I was only going to say one thing, but now I'm going to say 2 things. So if they did a St. Patty's Day event, it should be PvP focused, and it should be Fiesta mode from the Halo games, which means every time you spawn in a multiplayer match, you have different weapons, like pulled from the entire pool.
Like Gun Game from Black Ops 2.
Yeah, I like Gun Game.
I don't know
That
what
was
that
my
is.
jam. Gun Game was my
Gun
jam.
Game's fun.
Was it just
Woo!
random weapons all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the point of Gun Game, they changed it, but they had it in Ghost as well, but they changed. I think it was it was Gun Game in Modern Warfare series.
Yeah, okay.
And it was 21 guns in the Black Ops series. So the whole point was to get to the last weapon. You had each kill, your weapon switched, and you had to get all the way. Yeah, you had to, I think the last one was the ballistics knife, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the last one was the ballistics knife, but the one that kept getting me, where I always got stuck at, was the revolver. I hated that gun.
Yeah.
I hated that gun because it was like it was straight hip fire. It was no aiming.
Anyway, moving on from the fact that I have no idea what the hell that is. Anyway, that was what I would say for St. Patty's Day. But the original one I was going to say before Dame gave me the idea for St. Patty's Day thing was do a 4th of July event and give us a gun range where you can select any PvE enemy in the game to just be down range of a gun and allow you to choose any gun in the game with infinite ammo and go to town.
I'm gonna stop you right there because that should already be in the game with the gunsmith. Before
I know. We wanted it for a while.
Right. That should be how you test your weapons. You test weapons. You got your envelopes. There's somewhere in the tower you can go to and say these are these 5 weapons for this week. Test them out. Have fun. Or you only can test these weapons out for a certain amount of time. Maybe like you get a 2-hour clock.
There you go.
And
when you grab them, yeah.
When you grab them, yep. Or maybe a 24-hour clock or something. From the moment you grab them.
Better yet, do it by ammo.
Right.
So
ammo.
Like say you got like 1,000 clips or something with this gun.
Right. Right, and then once you finish, that's some rep points for the gunsmith.
So you have to be proficient with the weapon. You just can't run around and run circles killing captains.
Yeah.
Well, and that will alleviate because there's some players, like I said, that don't play PvP. So when you get those weapons where you got to go in the crucible and get kills, that's going to be kind of difficult for those people that don't play PvP. They're either going to just not use them, but they want to get their rep up. You know, there's been weeks when out of the 5 weapons, 3 of them have been in the crucible. So you only get 300 points for the other 2. That's for PvE. It's not fair.
Yeah.
You know?
So that was my idea. Did you guys have any ideas for what the big public event should be?
I definitely have a good one. I think for Memorial Day, it should be for the Queen. Maybe like searching for her, or
bring a Queen's event back.
Or like finding a new queen, like maybe her ability. Because remember how the singers came around her and she sent that blast out. Maybe that's like an innate ability for the queen, sort of like a queen bee almost. How it's
Petra's
one
still
person.
around, so
yeah, she could come back to the tower and be like, "Hey, we found."
And remember what I was saying? I swear to God that there was never a female person in front of the queen's door until the Crimson Days event.
Mm-hmm.
And because like when I went by there when I was doing some trials,
no, there always was a female door.
No. There's always the 2 guards, but that
now there's a singer, like one of the singers.
Yeah.
Oh,
thought it was.
I swear that's new. Either that or I'm gone crazy. But that's a great idea though.
I mean, because if you remember, that was fun when that first came out.
I still have all my Queen's shit.
Blast.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Because they always used to make fun of me and my PSN name. You know, Linux is the demon. I'm a level 29 and I wear Queen's robes.
I think I had my Queen's chest plate forever until I finally got the raid when they gave me the 30.
You know, and I never got the chest plate from Atheon. Yeah, from Vault of Glass. So it wasn't until I beat Crota's End as a level 29 in Queen's Robe. That's how baller I had to be.
That's when that was the last thing for me to drop on Vault of Glass was the chest plate. I mean, it was impossible for that thing to drop.
The chest plate, Atheon's Epilogue, and Praetorian Fall were the last things that dropped for me.
I got Atheon off the first time I beat him. Never got.
I still don't have Atheon's Epilogue.
It was
I got another Atheon
good
actually
until they.
I got another one. Yeah, that's how I got my Thorn.
It would wreck in PvP.
That's how I got my Thorn using that. Sure did. Before they nerfed auto rifles.
Because I don't know if I've told people on this podcast, but I'm infamous in my clan for like when we do trials year 1, and I had Atheon's Epilogue, and it has, you can put it on max ammo to 84 rounds, which is I think the most rounds in any gun in the game aside from the 100 rounds in corrective measure.
Necrochasm? Oh, how much is a Necrochasm?
It's like 34, 42, something like that. I mean, I wrecked with it in Crimson Days, but I mean, I used to in the OG Trials of Osiris, I would run around with Atheon's Epilogue, and people would be like, "Why the fuck is he using that non-lighted weapon? Like, what is he doing?" And I would wreck with them because it had so much ammo. I could do so much damage over time, and they would reload, and they would die.
Got him.
And then I would just scream out, 84 rounds, motherfucker! And my clan answer would be like, please, stop. And then every time I killed somebody, 84 rounds!
That's
like,
sort of like bringing out her supremacy.
What? How many rounds is her supremacy got?
Oh, that's the sniper rifle, but it glues to the.
Oh man, I never got that sniper rifle. I'm so pissed. God. I didn't play the Queens after I got the helmet and the chest plate. I stopped. I stopped doing the Queens event. I didn't, because it was the same mission. It was the same level over and over. I got tired of playing it.
Yeah, the Gate Lord, right?
Yeah, and I didn't know until you cap out. That's when you got the supremacy.
So good.
Well, alrighty, let's move on. We got some we got some more topics to get through here. So the next one, this is a huge one here, and me and Mike were talking about it actually a bit before the show started. But the lead writer of Mass Effect Andromeda has left BioWare for Bungie. Now, this is great news on many fronts. One, if he's good enough to work on a BioWare game, that is really good news for us. But it's better news because he's already very familiar with the way Bungie might make a video game. And the reason is because this fella, Chris Sherliff, he wrote Halo 4. And in my personal opinion, Halo 4 had an amazing story. And I was telling Mike earlier that the particular way that the story works in Halo 4, because it's more linear type of video game, is the same way that the story works in Destiny. So that coupled with probably, I would imagine he was working on Mass Effect Andromeda many years, coupled with whatever he learned with that, and just in general being a video game sci-fi writer, that's really good for us. Because I know, I think it was like one of the Guild Wars 2 writers that Bungie picked up for like around the Taken King time.
Yeah, right before. Yeah,
And, that's kind of questionable. I mean, yeah, he's done MMO and he's obviously done a lot of lore stuff, but it's not sci-fi, So I think that's really cool that they got Chris Sherliff. And just to ease any fans, like he didn't like get fired from BioWare or anything. Like he had finished writing Mass Effect Andromeda. Like his work on that project was done. And so he decided to move from Canada back to Seattle to do whatever's next for Destiny, which is awesome. Like that's great.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that?
Bungie gives a damn about their story.
Yeah. Well, I think they've always given a damn about their story. Just due to the unfortunate events of what happened with Vanilla Destiny,
Right.
it just got hatcheted,
Yeah, they stripped it to the bare roots. Roots, man.
That they did.
But no, I think this is
brought it back though.
I think this is a really good step though. Definitely toward the right direction for Bungie. As far as like because there's already a lot of lore there. It's just in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
People play video games. They want to see it on the screen. They don't want to read it in the companion app.
Yeah, even though I do, but I'm positive I'm in the minority of Destiny players who do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you sit there and watch it, sit there and read it. It's so much good content, so much lore, so much history behind that.
And most of it's good. And I think one of the things for me that is a pull to Destiny beyond and I'll say this right now, like however great the story may be in Tom Clancy's The Division, which it probably will be because it does carry the Tom Clancy title, and the premise is good with the virus and the outbreak and all that stuff. It's still set in just a little bit into the future, realistic setting. Whereas Destiny can go anywhere, and it has, and I think for a lot of players, like I talked to Killbot about this, and this is something Killbot likes a lot, is that, we love the fact that Destiny feels a little bit like a Mass Effect or a Halo or a Star Wars in its scope and certainly its art design and the way that it's told that story. So,
right. Would you like Destiny a little bit more if they gave you a choice which path to take as far as like a decision plot in the game, like your Telltale or something like that?
Maybe.
Or your Witcher.
Like if I think about it, and I see what you're saying there, because one could infer that because they're getting a writer from friggin' Mass Effect, which is all about multiple choice, that maybe Destiny 2 might have multiple choice things. That could be the route, or it could be more like it already is in Taken King and Halo 4. I see what you're saying there, Dame. Would I like it? Maybe. Like the thing that comes to mind is how in the Taken King, you have your 3 separate missions or string of missions to activate your special subclass.
Right.
And that is a piece of content you don't get if you play the other class.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what I want to do is what am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. You know, it'd be unique as far as like subclass wise. You know, we'll make your character even more different from the even like within the class can make your hunter more different from another hunter. Let's say there is a multiple choice plot or decision plot on you picking. You know, when it comes time to your subclass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like how it was. Let's say it was a choice that as me as a hunter, I found the void bow. But let's say I found the void bow, but I chose to do something else with or pick something else around that. That decision I made goes down another path, which opens up a certain thing in my subclass. But if I would have picked up the bow, it would have unlocked, let's say, quiver. But because I didn't, I don't have quiver. So now you know, but I might have something else. So now you have 2 or 3 different hunters within the same subclass, but have different builds. So I think that would probably be the unique in a way. Like say you come to, you know, let's say I'm a Titan, Mike's a Titan. All right, Mike has because he did something on his story or within the PvE mode, he has which one is that subclass where you have even more hammers than usual?
Well, it's a perk. Yeah,
It's a perk.
It's the first perk, right?
Stuff.
Right, but let's say he has that because he did something else, but I didn't make the same choice that he made, but I got tracking on my hammers.
Do you mean like maybe if you join a different the orders? Because you know how there's like 4 orders of Titans. There's a bunch of different schools for warlocks, and the hunters have a different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
maybe if you want to be like a Firebreak Titan, you would specialize in your hammers, or if you were a builder Titan, your bubble would be stronger, so it could take a smash or take a Nova Bomb.
Right.
And then you know, something like that would bring a lot of different customization, because like I play Defender all the time. I love Defender, even in Clash. And nothing pisses me off more than having a Warlock miss with the Nova Bomb, but hit a little bit and take my bubble out. It doesn't make sense.
And they can easily implement that now. You know, they already have the name of the quest in there, Path of the Defender or Path of the Sunbreaker. You know, if they don't give it, just choose one of the 3, Path of the Striker, you know, for your kids. Now you take Path of the Defender, you know, you chose to be a defender. You chose to have a stronger shield as far and be defense oriented instead of being more attack oriented. So in some MMO cases, you know, that might even lock out the other 2. You might not even can take that path at all once you made that final choice. But
you would be a builder, the builder order. Yeah.
That'll be kind of unique. But, you know, on the counterbalance side of it, it would increase more dynamic within a class, but then it will make maybe another class irrelevant in a way. You know, so if you got 3 different Titans, one's more builder, one's more attack, you know, one's a little bit more balanced, then that would you can almost like run a raid with either all Titans or, you know, because they're all different, that'll take away the dynamic of having a hunter or having a warlock, because they all, 3 Titans can do it itself, or 3 hunters can do it themselves, or 3 warlocks, or 6, excuse me, in this case. They can all do them themselves within that class, but I don't know.
Here, I wanna throw out another idea that they could do with Destiny 2 or something with the story. So I played Firewatch recently, which is a great first-person story mystery game. And one of the things that I experienced in that game, which I've never experienced in another first-person game in storytelling, was situational abilities to do things with objects to affect the story. And this is a minor spoiler for Firewatch, so you don't
play it.
it happens in like within the first 30 minutes of the game. But like you're you're like trying to watch out for fires in a national forest, and you see some smoke on the horizon. You go investigate, and it's like these two girls, and they're skinny dipping, and the game takes place in the 80s, and they have a boombox there, and it's like blasting some 80s music or something like that. And in the game, you have a dialogue tree that you could do, much like a Telltale game, but in first person. But you can choose to do any of those, or you could just walk away and not do anything, which I think is something unique to that game. But the other thing is, I was kind of pissed about like that they had their music and they were like telling me to fuck off. So like I walked up to the radio and it gave me the prompt like, "You want to pick up the radio?" And I was like, "Sure." And I picked up the radio and I threw it in the fucking lake.
And you killed them. You killed them.
No, I didn't kill them. It's a lake, for Christ's sake. And it's the 80s. It had like fucking D batteries or something. And they're like, "Oh, you're such a dickbag." And he's like, "Yeah, well, get the hell out." I would love to see something like that happen in Destiny. And here's how I see it playing out. Like, since they have a Mass Effect writer, one of the things that stands out to me from Mass Effect is like going down a quest, and you get to the end of the quest, and like the guy you're chasing or whatever it is you're doing is not really how it is, like there's always like a little bit of a twist to it. Like the guy you're about to kill is like actually stealing to like feed his like sick daughter or something like that. And if you had something like that, like all questy in Destiny, you could give them the option to like just walk away and it triggers a story, or like shoot the dude, or just turn in the mission. They could go that route.
Right.
So just throwing that there. And then also, just quickly on the topic of writers on Destiny, I don't know where, like I'm looking at the IMDb for Destiny, and I don't know if this stuff is accurate or not. But on the IMDb, it lists only 2 writers for Destiny. It lists David Mongan, who primarily comes from TV series such as like Without a Trace, V, Odyssey 5, and Dark Skies. It lists him as senior writer, and then below him is Joshua Rubin, who previously also wrote on Assassin's Creed 2.
Ooh, that's my favorite one, a jam.
So I don't know how accurate that stuff is, but it's cool that stuff is there, and there's lots of potential for the story in Destiny going forward. 1 second. Nate's messaging me.
Said it's time.
Okay, moving on here. So new topic coming up here is Bungie is going to be doing weekly Twitch streams.
Mm-hmm.
They built a new Twitch studio in hopes to provide more video content of the Twitchy variety for the, as they put it, the readers who don't read, which kind of sucks that a bunch of people who play Destiny are illiterate, but that's terrible. But maybe that's why you listen to our show. Whoops. Anyways, so their next week's opening Twitch act is they're going to be doing a ride along on the Dreadnaught, which I think is cool because it's of course the newest environment. What secrets do you think they might reveal on next week's Twitch Dreadnaught stream?
They're having a ride along next week, right? They're having a ride along in the Dreadnaught next week, so
yeah,
that's going to be interesting because there's stuff in there that even like on any of the other planets that we just go by. I know I can't tell you how many times I've gone by in the Cosmodrome and not noticed half of the stuff that I've seen there and find out, oh, this was actually here for a reason. This isn't just like level design. This is actually a purpose for that, But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure what they're going to, show. They might talk about why those chains, in that room when you're going to fight Darkblade before you get there, is that open room with those chains on gosh. The room where the 3 knights are when you're doing your sword quest and you have to kill them all with your supers in order to get past that door.
Mm-hmm.
They're 2 big chains, so they might, explain, talk about why, what's the point of that room, or I don't know. It's weird. It's almost like if you go into the Dreadnought, I'm not sure if the Hive are there to infiltrate, but if you're going into the Dreadnought, Hive ships actually spawn within the Dreadnought. And it's almost like they're there to act as either bodyguards or they're actually infiltrating. I don't know. I guess I'll have to read into the law on that. Like, what's the sole purpose for them being there? Because if they're not taken, then they're enemies, I'm assuming. Because orcs.
Not quite.
Isn't the Darkblade a prisoner?
If you back up to our big, huge lore stuff on like the Book of Shadows or some shit, like many episodes ago, the really deep, well-written, long, interesting lore of that is there are factions of the Hive that hate Oryx, because in order to get anywhere, you have to like kill the leader, basically. And the Darkblade dude was like a commander of Oryx, and then he tried to take on Oryx, but Oryx, instead of killing him, he's like, well, I got all the power I ever need. Let's just throw you in a deep, dark hole. He commands the Taken, and the Hive know this, so they don't fuck with the Taken.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you never see Hive and Taken fighting each other. So that's how that is, basically.
Yeah, I know. Like Darkblade was like the Hive version of Skolos in a way.
Yeah, definitely, because Skolas rebelled against the Queen and all that crap.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Things that I mean, I don't really necessarily hope for anything specific. The things that I would like to see in this ride along, which they really shouldn't call it that because you can't spawn your sparrow. They should call it a walk along.
Walk along.
A walkabout.
A walkabout. A walkabout the Dreadnought. I would like to see them like uncover maybe some secrets that maybe we don't know are there, or something like that. That'd be cool to me. Like if there was something, like even if it was like one thing, like a secret hidden room that we hadn't found.
Yeah, like the secret hidden room with the basketball court.
Yeah. Well, that's King's Fall. That's not. I mean, I guess it's in the Dreadnought, but like I doubt they'd go that far.
Yeah. Well, it would be interesting to see if it actually has a purpose, or if Luke Smith was like, "Yeah, I was just dicking around." Has actually no purpose at all.
Well, he said publicly that he had less to do with the Oryx raid than he did with the Baltic Glass one. So, because he was lead designer on the whole of Taken King, not just the raid. But anyway, that'll be interesting. So quick here. What's our favorite moment in Destiny from the last week here of playing the game?
Wow, you know what? I haven't really been on Destiny in the last week. I haven't been on since Crimson Doubles.
Didn't you play Iron Banner with me, Kono, and Killbot?
No, I played Trials with you and Kono, but I haven't touched
true.
Iron Banner.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even like Iron Banner, but I ended up touching it just because I had a bunch of buds on.
How was it? It just still.
I mean, I talked about it earlier in the show. It sucked.
Touch and go.
How's at least the connection wise?
Connection was great, actually.
Yeah, connection has been really good.
Connection was great. I wouldn't necessarily say we were matched evenly, and we actually looked at our DTR scores. And Killbot's still the fucking same. Like it hasn't gone down, so he's in the top 2%.
Yeah, like in DTRs, they actually say the higher you are, the harder it is to decrease as far as like percentage, because you played a certain amount of games. You literally have to have a cataclysmic amount of games in a row for your DTR to drop once you get into the top 5%. It's like but because it's hard to drop, it's also hard to propel. Yeah, advance as well.
See, that's so silly to me. So I play a Star Wars mobile game called Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and play it a lot. Actually, play it daily, and it's a great game. And it has PvP in it, and like I'm Well, a couple days ago, and weeks before that, I'd been in the top 1,500 players in the world.
Right.
Felt kind of proud about that. I was like, yeah, suck it. And then I logged on today, and I dropped to top 1,800 players.
Woo.
And
You got 300 people get in front of you.
and I'm
Shame on
just like, what the shit?
Shame.
I worked hard to get up there.
you.
You know, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
guess
but
everybody's rankings
it's-
are different.
Well, it's also like play like Destiny Tracker doesn't go into quite detail like how their formula works. It's
Mhm.
weird. It's a real weird algorithm that they use, but I can't tell you how long my hunter has been. I could play 500 matches, and I guarantee you my hunter will not budge out of the top 3%. I can't tell you how long he's been there. It's just insane, you know. And I don't know. I don't decrease, but it's hard for me to increase as well. So hard.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, my favorite moment from playing Destiny last week was, ironically, in the Iron Banner. It was me teaming up with my clan again. We got Killbot in for a few rounds, which was quite surprising.
Mm-hmm.
And it was me, Killbot, Kono. It's somebody else with us. I don't know who it was, though. And it was 4 of us, and we were doing this stupid clockwise strategy where we'd all gang up and stuff. And I had broken off from the pack, and I know it was the heavy, and we were playing on what's it
Short time.
called? No, not Shores of Time. The European Dead Zone one.
Thieves Dead?
No, that's
No, Thieves Den is on Venus.
that's Venus.
Uh,
It's the one with the broken church and stuff. The one that's usually
Oh,
on
Widow's
trials.
Court.
Yeah, we're playing on Widow's
That's my
Court.
jam.
And yeah, I like it. I like Widow's Court actually.
Damn.
And the heavy was spawning by the tree, and Kano had died and Killbot had died. And I was like, oh shit. But I was still running like all my Voidwalker stuff from Crimson
Mhm.
Doubles with you, Dame.
Yeah.
And like 3 Guardians came down the steps, and I was like, oh, I'm about to get wrecked. But I did I had my, what are they called? My Void Gauntlets to do the tracking with the
Nothing
Nothing
man.
manacles.
yeah, I had my Nothing Manacles on, and I tagged one, got a kill, and like there were 2 dudes, and then like I shot them, and I had Shatter on, so it split into the three things, and then 2 of my I don't know, I guess magic missiles like nailed them, killed them, and then the third one like went like sort of up the steps and nailed a 4th dude that
Oh,
just
damn.
happened to be unfortunate around the corner, and I was like, quadruple space magic. And I was just yelling it in the mic.
Space
And
magic is always cool.
and Connor was like, damn, Linux.
Playing
So-
a clutch play is always awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then of
yeah.
course I took the heavy, which was
Yeah.
great. Total denial of them getting the heavy.
I have a clip of my warlock, and it's funny because I had just spawned in, and I knew that they were all capturing B because they had killed me at the steps, but I had my super, so I said, you know what, screw this, I'm just going to see what happens. So we're on Asylum. I think it's on my YouTube channel as well too. We're on Asylum, and they're all, the whole team is at B. The whole team, right? So I'm running up, in the tunnel where A is, in that open area that if you can jump right up to B, where the heavy used to be at, right? And I blink jump, and so I'm so used to blinking and hitting my super on my hunter, so I did the same thing on my warlock, and I had Bloom on with the 3 the void blast that spreads out the 3 projectiles. So I do that, and it hits the whole team. I got like a 5, maybe a 6 kill. It was no medal for that. It was just no medal. It just went kill, double kill, triple kill, space dose, breaker, all type of crazy stuff was just coming down. I got killed by a thorn, but it was so worth it. It was, it was the nastiest. Yeah, that's before the nerf, first nerf. It was the nastiest super kill I've ever had. It was the nastiest. But between that or when I hit my blade dancer in a room full of people with on control, and I just rip right through them. I just rip right through them.
Sweet. Did you have a favorite moment of Destiny this week, Mike?
Yeah, I got a buckshot bruiser playing Iron Banner on the Mars map, the one with the beast spawns outside with the inside building. I don't remember the name.
Oh, you're
Black
talking
Shield?
about the blind? Yeah, your Black Shield,
Black Shield.
blind watch.
Yeah, it was Black Shield. I jumped down and I ran through, and I was on my defender, and I was wearing the no backup plans, and I just ran through that one into where the A spawn, and I was just pulling the trigger, and I got the buckshot bruise. I think I dropped probably about 5 people, and every time I got one, my shield revved up so they couldn't get me, and they were all clumped together doing that ring around the rosy strat, and actually at the end of that game, I got an Imago loop.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty good roll.
Alrighty. Moving on the topic list here. We've actually talked about it a lot this episode, so let's not get too heavy on it. But what do we think about the state of the PvP servers right now?
You still need a little bit more work. Because
Okay.
I tried to run sweaties with my boy AC and his crew, and no custom servers, So it took us forever. I don't even think we got a chance to get one game off, but it took us forever to get that, just to run sweaties with 3-on-3s. I think custom matches would just add it in there. But when I listened to that interview with was it Leaf? It was one of the developers from Bungie, and
Okay.
the way he was talking, it was just like Bungie they don't have any plans of putting it in no time soon, because I guess what he was saying was that the fan base for that, or demand for that as an overall, is a small percentage. I mean, I get that the top 5% of people, hardcore players, that play Destiny now, they're asking for that, for those dedicated servers or for those custom matches. So that's a very small percentage to the mass majority, but you got to remember that's still the reason this game has been pushing this far. It's been that small 5%, and not the other 95 that's gone off and playing other games now. So they're going to come back, but in the end, it's still going to be that same small percentage that it's driving your game. And I understand that you're looking at the big picture, but you still, without that small 5%, it's just there's no way the game would have made it this far. So just throw in dedicated. I mean, not really dedicated servers too, but custom matches, dude. Like, just throw that in there.
I guess my thoughts on it are basically they've gotten a lot better since the beginning of the year, since they've implemented what's that thing that they're calling it? Damage control?
Damage referee?
Yeah, damage referee.
Yeah.
I think that's working well. I think the matchmaking is better overall. I'm able to at least play Trials of Osiris again, which I'm in agreement with, because I've been playing it. I don't play it hardcore anymore, but like I'll give it, like an hour of my time, at least once a week now, which is more than I could say any point in year 2 of Destiny so far. So it's on the up and up for me, basically. Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say anything bad. I'd rather the connection-based matchmaking as opposed to the skill-based, because, I mean, I've seen very few yellow and red bars now, and if they are there, you could definitely feel the damage referee.
I don't understand why we can't have both. Why is
it
always one or the other?
Ranked playlist.
Yeah, like a ranked playlist. That would be the only way to do skill-based.
I guess, maybe.
It would alleviate you having, some of this. If you're doing a skill-based or a ranked playlist, you might have a little bit of lag issues, but you know what you're getting yourself into, because those servers are more prone to match you up against people of your skill level over connection. You want something a little bit more casual, non-ranked, then you go to the, connection base over skill, but that would definitely take out a lot of issues in that case. Now, I will say this: I like it better now, than it was back with the skill base, just off of the fact that one was the lag, but two, I just didn't want to play sweaties every damn match.
Yeah.
I just want to kick back some matches, but
Yeah.
I'm on my toes in a game of Rift, so
Yeah.
it's a good direction now where they're going. They just still need a little bit more work.
Alrighty, let's enter into our final two segments here, both related to each other, but I will split them into two topics here. The first one is actually, and people may hate me for it, that's fine. But I want to talk about the success of the Division beta. It has 6.8 million pre-orders across both platforms, and how that's going to affect the Destiny player base come March 8th. I think it's gonna definitely affect it negatively at first, because it's gonna be up to whether or not the Division has as much content as vanilla Destiny, or if it has as much content as Taken King. That's the comparison that I'm making. Because if it has a shit ton of content, then I don't think whenever Destiny's spring content is gonna hit, it's gonna matter. If it does have vanilla Destiny content level, then I think Destiny will be okay. And then I think another thing with that is Destiny may have to pace itself on when its expansions come out. Because the Division's coming, and it is a mighty, well-oiled, polished machine of a beast.
Yeah. I think like just like you said, it's gonna have to come down to content, because a year ago we were saying the same thing about Destiny and the alpha and the beta. We were saying the same thing. Is well polished, the mechanics were fine tuned.
You're making that's a good point, Dame. We were totally saying that.
Right. We were saying we love the public events. The strike missions were insane. Was something that we never experienced before, But then after the first 3 weeks, that got old, especially when, we found out that it was a lot of grinding, which I don't mind because I come from a MMO background. So the grind is something that, or JRPG. If you play that, then you understand the grind as well, So that's something that I wasn't, I didn't really mind doing, but if the content is not there in the Division, the game's going to be forgotten about before Uncharted comes out, and you're going to have that small player base that's going to continue to keep pushing, simply because they might max out in PvE and all they're playing is Dark Zone. But how Ubisoft is playing it, man, they're playing some of the smartest ball I've seen in a
that's
long
actually,
time.
keep it in your pants, Dame. That's actually our second topic. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
How do you feel about that, Mike? Since your perspective on Destiny's player base might be a little different, since your crowd is the PS3 crowd, it's still the previous generation of console gamers.
Yeah.
At least until your tax return comes in.
Yeah. I'm definitely intrigued by it, because it seems like, from what I've seen, because I've watched a lot of videos on it, it'll be a learning experience for me to switch from first to third.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like it's crazy fun. And, being able to team up with more than 2 other people, I think it's 5 teams of 4.
Yes.
And, maybe you and your buddies are like, yo, let's go to the dark zone and, just hold down some, take some rogue agents out, or whatever the terminology is, and try to get better gear for one person. It seems like it's going to be fun. From what I've seen, it looks like the aiming mechanic is a little bit easier. Just kind of put the reticle on and pull the trigger. But
yeah,
it looks crazy fun.
I mean, I wasn't necessarily asking for like how you feel about the Division coming up. I was asking about like how you feel about that 6.8 million, and how that's potentially 6.8 million away from Destiny, and your viewpoint on that going forward.
Oh, I mean, I don't remember how many registered users they had. but it
I think
was
it's, what was it, Dame? Upwards of 25 million for Destiny?
25 million.
20,
You gotta
yeah,
think
about
that
25 million.
you gotta think that's about half, maybe super active users. I
Sure.
mean, 6.2 could cut that in half, which is, probably concerning for Bungie. But I mean, Bungie has always said that, you can go play other games. They'll bring you back. If they release content that you want to come back, then you'll come back. If not, thanks for playing. But for me, it's mildly concerning because I've seen a lot of my friends list get shorter and shorter, more time not logged on. So either they went to the Xbox One or they went to the 4. And, that's mildly concerning because, I feel the clock ticking for me because I
Yeah,
know,
the doomsday clock has to be ticking for the
Oh,
Xbox
yeah.
360 and the PS3 players.
oh, yeah. Because I'm quite sure that Destiny 2 will not be past gen. It'll only be current.
If Destiny 2 is past gen, I feel like I would rage quit Destiny. Maybe that's going to too much extremes, but I feel like that would be the stupidest fucking possible choice for the game because it holds back what you could do for the game for
Right.
next gen.
Yeah, eventually we gotta move on. It's just the nature of the console generation. If it was 2000, were they still making PS2 games in 2008?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I know because I bought them.
They're gonna milk the past the
Yeah.
previous generation for everything
I
they
think
got.
I actually bought Shadow of the Colossus in 2008.
Well, you
Fantastic.
can get that. Yeah, you can get that on PS2, and you really wouldn't tell the difference with that engine. Couldn't tell the difference.
You mean
'Cause
PS3?
Eco on PS3, yeah, excuse me.
Yeah.
Eco, even with an emulator on the PS3, looks exactly like it didn't age well. Plays good, but didn't age well.
I have a very special place in my heart for both Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, in that I want them to stay exactly the same forever.
In that engine,
They're perfect to me.
frozen in time.
Don't change a thing. Like, I think there's even an option in the PS3 version to like put the bad frame rate in. Like, that's Shadow of the
Scale
Colossus to
down.
me.
I'm gonna get the Last Guardian with the Crytek engine.
That is the wackiest, most absurd, nonsensical thing I've ever heard you say, Dave.
Oh my gosh!
And I recorded that thing with you drunk, so that was crazy.
I still haven't heard that episode. I'm never gonna.
Dame,
It's
Dame,
okay.
you
Let's
know we
move on.
didn't record a podcast that week, right?
Yeah, I
You
was
are
pretty
quite okay. Yeah, you were.
pretty ripped.
Yeah.
I don't even remember recording that podcast. That's how ripped I was.
Well,
I had to go through the Skype thread. I'm like, oh my god, did we record?
We were mid podcast, and you just sort of showed up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been thinking we should do a drunk cast one week.
Yeah.
All of us just steadily drink throughout the podcast and just see how far and fast it goes.
You know what?
I mean, you guys can. I'm a recovered alcoholic, so
okay.
I'm not going to do that.
Dave and I.
That would be really bad. No podcast would get done
we could
ever
actually do a
if that
Twitch
started
stream
again.
one like that. We do a Twitch stream and run some drunk strikes or raid or something. That'd be hilarious. Put it as an episode.
That'd be the first thing I do. That'll be the first thing we do when I get my PlayStation 4. We'll just do a drunk PvP session.
Oh my gosh.
Now that's one thing I try to stay away from. When I'm drunk, I play PvP. Oh, it's not good. It is not good. Was you there that night? Was you there that night with us, Tim? When it was me and Killbot, we were fucking wasted.
Maybe. I mean, Killbot's wasted at least half the time. So.
I mean, it's more.
But see, like, Killbot's weird. Like, I mean, like, I've obviously not met him in real life, but, like, I imagine that for him, he does really well, a little bit lubricated, but then there's a certain point where that needle tips over to the other side, and he just goes into crapland.
The point of no return?
Yeah, the point of no return.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm playing competitive, I gotta be fully sober. There's no way.
Because like I remember playing a trials match, and Kono, one of my clanmates, with me along with Killbot, and we're playing. I forget the match or whatever, but we're like, "What are you doing, Killbot?" He's like, "I'm fighting him," and we look on our map, and it's just him by himself, and it looks like he's like fighting the wall. it's just like, dude, have you been drinking? And you just hear silence, and then like he dies, and then he's just like, no.
Like,
We're like,
he's definitely lying.
Killbot, we love you, man,
Def-
but you're fucking drunk, man. You're bringing us down.
Like, Killbot, you know what gun I'm using? The last word. No, Killbot, I'm using a No Land Beyond. Okay, god damn it. Okay, he's drunk.
Oh man.
Yeah, Dan, we could definitely do some drunk strikes, a drunk
be lit.
nightfall, something like that. That'd be fun. And just have Tim as the anchor, just trying to keep us on target.
Right. Oh, like,
Yeah,
thank
good
you.
luck with
Like,
that.
Tim, you gotta do call outs. You gotta do call outs.
Be like, guys, you guys are playing the wrong game. You guys aren't even playing Destiny right now. What are you guys doing?
What is it? That'll be hilarious. That'll be hilarious. I'm down for that though.
So our
definitely.
final topic, and let's hit it quickly because we're running out of time here, is what Destiny 2 can learn from the Division's launch and PR and how that's handling.
Communicating,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the one thing that's just destroying Bungie right now, is that Ubisoft is doing everything right. It's almost like 2013
Mhm.
when Microsoft got on the stage and says Xbox One $499. Nobody wanted that, and then Sony just comes behind and does the total opposite and tells people, "We're not those guys. We're going to do it like this."
Yeah.
$399.
Yeah. No, I think the thing was $4.99 and games
And the
have
DRM.
games have DRM, and you can't trade games with a friend or whatever. You could
Yep.
digitally do it and stuff, but you can't do it. And then PS4 was $3.99, and then they're like, "Oh, and here's how game sharing works." And then
Yep.
it showed. I think it was like the presidents of Sony or whatever, and it was like
Yoshida.
he handed him a game disc, and he's like, "Oh, thanks, buddy."
and that was it.
It was
You know,
just
and
like,
then
oh man, what a burn.
Yep. And then it says $399, walks right off the stage. You know,
Yeah.
that's exactly what Ubisoft is doing. There are no microtransactions in this game.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny because there's some in Rainbow Six Siege, and there's been some in the past Assassin's Creed games as well.
Yep.
And they said, by the way, here's our content roadmap. It's going to hit this month, not an exact date, but it's going to hit this month, and this month. 4 pieces of content. There'll be free content every month. And by the way, we'll have a Q&A where we'll actually answer any and all of your questions.
Yep.
By the way, we're out March 8th. All of our servers work.
Yeah. We have dedicated ones on this side.
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic. Like, they're literally doing everything to make Bungie look like Darth Vader.
Yeah, and if you look even at their past videos from like 2013 and stuff, because the game's been out in the wild for a while, or in the public eye, you look at like how easy it is for them to change stuff in their engine, and you hear the horror stories of like it taking like a day to move like a tree and not break the game in Destiny, and it's like, oh man. Because like, and the thing that definitely seals that as true is like whole buildings have changed in 2 weeks since I played the closed beta of the Division, and it's like, you know, because remember me, Dame, when we were up on the in the dark zone, the helicopter pad on the roof of the parking garage, and I was telling you that in the closed beta, that building behind us used to have a rope, and you could go up into a sniper perch, and now you can't because the building is totally different. They've changed that in 2 weeks.
Right.
So if they can do something gigantic like that also changes PvP, oh boy.
Because that probably came from the alpha, and people were exploiting that, and they said, we need to fix this now. And like that, it was done. You know, so
I think beyond all those things that you hit the nail on all the heads there, Dame. You know, the thing that Destiny 2 needs is it needs a hell of an overhaul, or either that or a brand new engine, so that they can make content quickly. Because I think if they can get that problem solved, you know, which is something that a more industrial engine like an Unreal Engine or a Crytek engine can do,
Mm-hmm.
You know, is you can build that content more quickly. You know, because that's a basic problem of game development is if you change something in the game code wise or add objects and stuff, does it break the game? You know?
Yeah, they call it spaghetti code. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think that's what Bungie calls the spaghetti code. You know, so like if you buff an auto rifle, then splash damage from Atheon's blast is increased. Something totally irrelevant, you know.
Totally stupid.
Yeah, it's weird.
Alrighty, any closing thoughts, guys?
No, I'm pretty good. You know, just hope that well, where do you think they can drop the spring content? You know, where can they place it? You got people that's gonna be playing the division. You got people that's gonna be playing
end of April.
That wouldn't be bad. Yeah,
because
that wouldn't be
You
bad.
think they're going to give the division a time to run its course?
Because if they give it, if it's like the middle of March, if it's that soon,
Nah,
you know, or even the end of March, I don't
early.
think I'm gonna care.
Yeah, because
Because like the only scenario in which I'm going to care, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm obviously doing a fucking podcast about Destiny. I love fucking Destiny, but I've played 2 betas of the division. I fucking love the division. It's filling the void that is the lack of content for Destiny for me right now, which is saying quite a lot. The only scenario in which Bungie releases this content early is if the content is short in the division and I max out all my shit and I'm whatever max level and whatever Dark Zone max level and I've got all the fucking epic gear and done all the shit and all the cool beanies and clothes and shit and parkas that I can pick up and stuff. Killed all the dogs and raided all the food supply, all the division stuff. You know, if I've done that by the end of March and the Destiny content comes out, I'll totally go to Destiny. But if there's more content than that and it comes out in March, then I don't know, like it would have to like whatever content would come out would have to blow my mind to get me to go back.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll definitely go back, but my time's like I'm giving my time to the division, you know?
Yeah. I think mid to end of April would be pretty good. And probably more so end of April, mainly because like the division comes out next week, right?
No. 2 weeks.
Okay, March 8th.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's sooner than I thought. I thought it was the 15th, but it's actually the
8th. So I'm gonna be playing that at least until Uncharted 4 comes out.
Oh shit, I didn't even think about that.
And that's that's in April.
But to be fair, the Uncharted 4 thing is only PS4 players' problem.
That's true.
If you're into Uncharted.
Right.
You know, I was talking to Mike earlier. Mike's not an Uncharted guy.
It's unheard of. Jesus Christ.
Dame's like, blasphemous motherfucker. Get off the show.
Like I told Tim, I don't have a lot of time to play games with my job working overnights and stuff. Like I only have legitimately a day and a half off before I go back to work. So any game time I have, I pretty much devote it to maybe 1-2 games and just keep it moving.
Although Uncharted 1 is really, really short. That's a short game. You can almost burn through that in a day. Yeah. Tell you the truth. You can literally burn through Uncharted. Now Uncharted 2 is a little different. It's a little bit longer. But yeah, you know, but I'm gonna be playing that in the beginning of April. So I guess by the time content comes around for Destiny, end of April would be pretty good, because if you do May, because if they do anything before April and June, they gotta say something at E3 for the big rollout content.
If we look at last year, didn't House of Wolves come out in like May?
It did.
And then we had all summer until September. So if they hit May again, which is still a long ways away.
Way long. Yeah. If they hit May with more content than the House of Wolves, I think it can hold steady. Because the only thing...
It has to be big enough, though.
It has to be big enough, but because unless they come up with some unique type of PvP like Trials of Osiris that literally carried the House of Wolves all the way to the Taken King.
That's
That
true.
was the
But
sole reason
it
why.
was only for select players though, because not everybody dug Trials of Osiris in year one.
Right,
I did. It was my favorite thing in year one. Period.
right. But it has to be more. Yeah,
But
you're right.
there's also other things on the horizon too that are gonna like totally take me away from Destiny. And one of those is definitely a PS4 exclusive, at least on console. And for me personally, like as soon as No Man's Sky is out, I don't.
That's June, right?
I'm out, man.
That's in June.
Say goodbye. No podcasts are getting done.
I think that's in June, isn't it? Isn't it right after?
Yeah, they said at PlayStation Experience last November that No Man's Sky is releasing in June. No hard release date, but that's the month they're targeting.
I wouldn't be surprised if they make the announcement at the press conference at E3.
I think there's going to be an announcement next week, to be honest, because 2 weeks from now, there's a PlayStation VR press conference.
Right.
And I heard from, I think it's like the New Yorker or some big, like, normal person's news outlet said that there is mind-shattering No Man's Sky news coming next week.
Oh, that's the perfect game for VR.
Yeah.
But I think that was the reason for the hold up. That was the reason for the hold up.
Well, it's being made by 10 people, and they're making a game that is so gigantically huge. It's unfathomable. I can't even say the word. It's that big.
Unfathomably. Yeah. Now remember, you also got Final Fantasy dropping this year too, so it's gonna be.
Yeah, but let's be honest. When has Square Enix ever hit a release date?
Yeah.
Ever. When it's actually made by Square Enix, like the actual in-house developer.
Actually made by Square Enix, because published they do pretty good. They do pretty good with Lara Croft.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Lara Croft's made by Crystal Dynamics. They're
right.
They're pros.
They did pretty good with Life is Strange.
And that's true. And that was Dawn Todd.
Right.
Anyway, let's wrap up this show here. So before I do the sign-offs, I just wanted to direct everybody's attention to, of course, our Facebook. No, that's not the right thing. I'm reading the wrong thing. Wait, show notes. Different show. Sorry, my bad. Here we go. Okay.
You could have played it off with Facebook, because we do have a Facebook.
Yeah, go to our Facebook, facebook.com/Agents of the Nine, a Destiny podcast. You can, of course, tweet at us at Agents of the Nine. That's Agents of the Nine with the number 9. Tweet at us questions, comments, concerns, anything and all things about Destiny. We'd love to hear from you. Tweet back at you, talk about it on the show, whichever, man. Tweet. You can, of course, email any questions, comments, concerns, how to do our show better, topics you want us to bring up, anything and all things concerning Destiny. agentsofthe9@icloud.com. That's agentsofthe9@icloud.com. And the 9 in that one is spelled NIN. We, of course, on iTunes and a bazillion other podcast services, from Podbean to Zimbabwe, ukulele, transdimensional, intercontinental podcasting services.
There you go.
You can also check out my science fiction adventure book, The Citadel Arrival, by yours truly, Tim K. Trotter, which is available right now on Amazon Kindle Store and iTunes iBookstore for only $2.99. Get a free preview download when you visit those stores. It's only a short story. It's only 160 to 190 pages, depending on the screen size of your ebook reading device. Again, that's $2.99 on Amazon Kindle and iTunes iBookstore. So buy a book, support this show. And I also host a weekly show called Rising Tide, a Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, which is your one-stop stop for all things Marvel, movies, TV shows, comics, and more. Mike has bled over into that show as well, and Damon's on it regularly as well. We're actually going to be recording the show right after we wrap up this show. But big news, actually super new news as of like 24 hours ago. The brand spanking new, ultra shiny, super sexy, and in parentheses here, 99.9% completed. Brand new webpage of Dynamic Works Productions has been completed. You can go there, links work, check out the shiny things, find the stuff that says placeholder text here. But it's online, operational. You can find any and all of our links and stuff at the website now. It was done by my co-host on Rising Tide, the wonderful Nathan Wolf. But of course, Agents of the Nine is on there, and there will be many new and exciting things occurring on that website as well. So you can check that out at www.dynamicworksproductions.com. And real website and everything, which is pretty great because I think we've had a defunct one now for about 5 years.
Thanks, Nate.
Yeah, indeed. So check that out. And I'm Tim K. Trotter, signing off.
Alrighty. I'm Damian Newman of Self-Made Dame. You can always find me on my YouTube channel, which is I Am Self-Made Dame, YouTube.com/I Am Self-Made Dame. Twitch as well, with the same, twitch.tv/Self-Made Dame. Also, I'm thinking about putting together Agents of the Nine Twitch page too, so you can catch us streaming whenever.
Yeah, it's true, because I've appeared a couple of times in your things.
Mm-hmm. You see, just see us either playing PvP, Iron Banner, raiding, whatnot. Then it also gives us a chance to interact with, the listeners, which I also want to say thank you, for listening to the show, wherever you are, from all over the country, all over the world. We got 86 followers, and we're still building on Podbean and on iTunes and, any other venue. So thanks for that. But yeah, you can find me on those two avenues on, like I said, Twitch and YouTube. And you also find me on Twitter too at I Am Self-Made Dame. Yep.
And I'm Mike List, Blister Lister 113 on PlayStation Network. If you send me a friend request, please put in the message, a listener from the podcast, because it's just really odd getting random friend requests from people that you don't see.
Wait, what are people doing to you?
Oh yeah, I'm getting random friend requests just from people not in the tower.
Yeah, I've been getting that too, and I'm not sure if it's from the show or if it's from Facebook. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you talking just in the tower?
No, everywhere. I'll just be running bounties, and I'll randomly get a friend request, and I'll look around, and that person's not there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very weird.
And it's an odd thing because if you don't
maybe
put
it's
a listener.
Maybe it's that low RAM in that PS3, and they don't have the ability to render that anything. Anyways, yeah, that's it. And to clarify, we have more than 67 listeners or 87 listeners. We have about 6,000 listeners actually.
Well, there we go. All right.
So just saying, we're not that pathetic.
Thank you to the listeners.
Alrighty, guys, and we're out.
This is Dominic Armato, the voice of Guybrush Threepwood, and you're listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast.
Hello.
What's
up, man?
Not much. Just been playing that Smite beta.
Yeah.
Yep. I played it on Xbox.
So. Was that like top down? Is that sort of like a MOBA?
No, it is not top down. That's what distinguishes it from all the other MOBAs, is that it's third person.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely a MOBA though. It's 100% a MOBA, but it's more. It's the most console friendly MOBA there is. Until every single fucking billion MOBA hits this year.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody has one at this point.
Is Smite the one by... damn it. I know there's one by like every major developer. Is that the one with like the big gorilla and shit like that?
Big gorilla and shit. What?
Yeah, it was like a kid. I saw like a preview video, like the intro cinematic, and it was like a kid in a museum, and then a bunch of heroes and villains drop in and start fucking shit up. Is that Smite? Okay.
I don't know of any intro like that to Smite.
Okay.
Smite's only been around like 2 years or something. I don't know what the studio so does. It's called High Res Studios.
Okay.
I'll look them up now. Did you hear the thing about the lead writer for Mass Effect Andromeda left Bioware and is now at Bungie?
Yeah.
That sounds promising.
Yeah, that's something we should bring up too.
What the shit? Why is my... This is not helpful. I have 2 screens, and I go to move my mouse over to the nether screen, and my mouse disappears. So I don't know what I'm doing.
That's not good.
I can see like the links and the web pages like move as I move my cursor over them. Put my mouse... Oh, there it is. There it is. Crafty little thing. High Res is a Georgia studio, like Georgia, United States.
Yeah. Not the other Georgia.
They apparently own the MetalTech license, and that includes Battledrome, Earthseed, Starsiege, Cyberstorm, and Tribes series. Oh, I've heard of Tribes.
I've heard of Tribes.
Oh, they've actually made a lot of Tribes games. Apparently there's a Tribes Ascend free-to-play multiplayer only first-person shooter since 2012. Then Smite hit in 2013, and then it's been out for 2 years and change. It hit Xbox One last summer, which is where I played it.
Okay.
And then they have something called Paladins Champions of the Realm, which is a free-to-play online team-based, hero-based, objective-focused first-person shooter for consoles.
Objective is always better in my opinion.
It can be.
I think
Are you in the middle of like a poker game or something?
No. Why?
What is all the things that sound like a poker game in the background?
Might be the TV.
I see.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
You can still hear it a little bit though. Do you not have like a separate room where you like go to record?
I usually just do it in my living room because it's closer to the router and I'm hooked up to Wi-Fi.
Well, does your like Wi-Fi suck when you go to other parts of the house or something?
Yeah, probably. Is it better? Can you still hear it?
It's okay. It probably won't come through on the...
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming through now, which means it's getting recorded, but when it gets edited, it probably won't probably won't be heard. But I'll hear it, and it'll just annoy me for the duration of recording the podcast. Classic. I feel like we should have a list of shit that we should be talking about.
All right, so...
Do you feel we should have a list of shit that we should be talking about?
Yeah, totally. We can't just freeball it. I mean, we could and see what happens, but I think...
Yeah, we've been freeballing it all year, though.
Yeah, we've been freeballing it since the beginning.
Been freeballing it all year. Let's see.
So, like, Iron Banner thoughts, maybe? Because, Iron Banner...
I don't have Iron Banner thoughts other than it should not be a thing.
Well, there's your thought.
Yeah, that's my thought. There it is.
What the spring content is, like what it could be, our ideas, what we hope it is,
sure.
What we don't want it to be. The weapon balances, with like the whole
Might has gotta go.
Yeah. That just goes right in the Crucible thoughts. The state of the Crucible, here. As Damien calls it.
Agents of the 9 topic list to 2, 6, 16. One. Iron Banner.
And how much Tim hates it.
And how much Tim hates it. 2.
Spring content speculation. You just want to put it like that.
Spring content speculation and hopes and dreams, followed by much more realistic dreams.
Yeah.
How about what we want the next big event to be?
Yeah.
For
I mean, the events usually coincide with holidays too, so like.
Yeah, I know, but that was kind of what I was thinking. Bioware writer leaves for Bungie.
Yeah, because that's definitely a big thing.
Bungie doing weekly Twitches.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Speculation on what Bungie might reveal in Dreadnaught right along Twitch next week. Favorite moment in Destiny last week. State of the PvP servers.
You want to talk about the Trials map?
What is it?
Bannerfall.
It's a terrible Trials map.
You think so?
It's too big. You know, it's the same as doing Trials on what's the one that takes place in the Black Garden?
Pantheon?
Yeah. Not good. I mean, I do it, and Pantheon's alright, but it's like Sniper City.
Yeah. I finally played Timekeeper.
I think you said that last week.
Yeah,
even though we didn't.
I've been playing it a lot.
Sweet. I'm glad.
Yeah, it comes up a lot.
Are you able to discern that, with everything looking so pixely?
It's not that bad.
You say that, man, but when you get that PS4...
Until I get it.
Like, you don't even know it, man. You're probably playing in, like, not even 480p or something on that PS3. I don't even know. We should probably talk about how fucking successful the Division beta was. The success of the Division beta, was it 6.8 million?
That how many it was?
No, that's how many pre-ordered it because of the beta.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That is a number.
Yeah. I mean, of course, it's multi-platform, but so again is Destiny.
Yeah, it's spread out throughout the
and
platform.
Destiny's got like, what, 25 million, I think, install base? Technically. Probably not that many active, but... No,
probably half that active, if
especially now.
Us.
And that hits soon. Like, I thought it was coming out on the 15th. It's actually on the 8th.
8th, right?
Yeah.
See, that's exactly when I think they're going to drop the spring release, around that time.
I won't give a shit. I'm sorry to say, like, unless it's like the bestial, the spring shit, like I won't care. You know?
Yeah, because I was talking to a couple of guys I work with that are getting that have the 4, and they're getting the Division. They're like, "Yo, it's right up your alley." I'm like, "But it's third person." They're like, "Yeah, but that doesn't matter."
It really doesn't. I mean, it is 100% a third person shooter, but like in terms of like I mean, it's not like what third person shooters have you played?
Third?
Yeah.
Man. Say, play a little bit of Drake.
I'm sorry, what?
I played Sniper Elite.
Okay, I don't know that game, but all right.
It's just a World War II sniper game. When you shoot people, it goes inside their body. You can see the bullet doing damage.
It's not really third person though.
Oh yeah, it's third person.
Like third person means you're controlling the character you're playing as from third person the whole time.
Oh no, it's not the whole time.
So like if you have a sword in Destiny, that's third person.
Yeah, like or when you go gunslinger and hammer and all that. Yeah. I don't. Psyops maybe.
Yeah. Okay. I know Psyops. Well, did you play any of the Uncharted?
A little bit, like demos.
I see. Alrighty then. I don't really have a good comparison to give you. Did you ever play like a Splinter Cell or maybe like a Ghost Recon or?
Splinter Cell I played a little bit, and I played Thief, but that doesn't go third. That only goes third person for a specific set.
I see. Well,
so really, if I get the Division, it's going to be a learning process.
Yeah, I mean, like the shooting is not as technical as it is on like Destiny.
Yeah, it's just point and pull the trigger.
Gears of War, for that matter, which is probably the bar for first-person shooters. Because it is it is as tight, I would say, as Gears of War in terms of like the controls and stuff. Like they're all really good and like lots of movement options and stuff. But like the shooting itself, because it's so very much more in the RPG category than even Destiny is. Like it's all more about your stats.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, because they were telling me like you can specifically be someone that has a turret gun that throws the turret gun out.
Yeah, that was new. That was new to the beta. It was awesome. I rocked that. It was good. It's good.
And he was telling me about how like the Dark Zone, that if you kill an agent, you go rogue and everybody can see you, and then they can kill you.
Yep.
And then you can It
was a whole thing. But man, yeah, no, it's gonna be good.
Yeah. That'll probably be when Dame gets in, because you guys played it.
Yeah.
I've only heard, firsthand.
Yeah, he liked it. At first he was like, I don't know. And then we got to that Dark Zone, bro. And he was like, man, all right, that's pretty cool.
So you can run it's 4 people in the team, and you can run seamless between the game and then the Dark Zone, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And to clarify, because people who I had been telling the game had no loading, there is loading in the game, but like when you're playing it and you're moving between like if you reload your game, or if you fast travel, or stuff like that, there's loading. But if you're alive, there's no loading, which is nice.
Okay. Sounds pretty bitchin'.
And then I think topic 10 should probably be what Destiny 2 can learn from the Division and how it is handling its launch. I don't know. Is that pretty solid? Is that going to fill basically an hour?
Yeah, that sounds like it can fill an hour.
Alrighty. Okay. Let me just scroll through our Facebook thing here.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot more views too. I've noticed that. We've been getting a lot of views on Facebook.
I got 23 people.
Yeah, recently. We still need more likes though.
Yeah, 23 is good though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I haven't actually checked this out this week yet. Hold on. Oh, isn't that fancy? So, Nate has my new website. Basically, it's like 99% done. There's just like a couple things to go. I just shot you a link. So we'll be
For all the
able to-
podcasts?
Huh?
For all the podcasts?
It's for everything, like all the shit that I do.
Okay.
It's very modern.
Yeah.
So
Dynamic voice. Okay. Yeah, I'll push it.
good to go. Oh, yeah. Sweetness. Okay. Oh, I should probably look up this writer. Mass Effect Andromeda writer Chris Sherliff.
Chris Sherliff. I mean, if he wrote Mass Effect, he's got some chops.
Well, I don't think he did the original trilogy. He did Andromeda.
Oh.
Because Drew Shiplin did the original.
The original.
Are you a Mass Effect guy?
Like played it sporadically whenever I got around it. I didn't grind through it or nothing.
Saddens me, Mike.
I don't have very much time to play a lot of games, man.
Well, you need to find a job that makes you enough money and enough leisure time so that you can do this. Yeah.
Well, I make enough. I make good money. It's just the time. So.
Says the person who hasn't had a PlayStation in ever, or a PlayStation 4 in ever.
Yeah.
Where the fuck? Why can't I find him? Am I going to have to IMDb him? Does he just not exist? So IMDb.
Is he a ghost?
Maybe. Mass Effect Andromeda.
Is it Deej in a mask?
That's terrible. Chris Sherliff. Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, this is super good. Okay, so he's got a lot of weird stuff to his credits. Like post 2012. He might be no, it says he's born in Maryland. It's weird French names and Spanish names and stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing that he's known for is he wrote Halo 4. So that's good. Because Halo 4, in my opinion, being a Halo diehard, is fucking amazing. So that gives me good hope. And also, technically, if he wrote Halo 4, Halo 4, the way they deal with their story would be much more the same way that it would be dealt with within Destiny. Because, Destiny is essentially, even though it's an RPG shooter, it's more straightforward. But it's...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
It fits right in.
Yeah. Alrighty then. Okay, I'm just gonna make one more note here.
Hopefully Dame doesn't call in drunk as shit like he did the last
You know, I'd be okay with that. Did you listen to the Rising Tide
Yeah,
where he did that?
yeah.
Could you believe? That
He was smashed.
He was so smashed. He's like, man, it was the best fucking podcast.
I was like, we didn't do one. I was like, we did.
That is how smashed you know, man.
Yeah, he was so smashed. He thought he time traveled.
Yeah, basically.
Like, we didn't do that. We didn't have one.
Alrighty, here we go.